For this, as the session chair, we have Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal, Member, National Disaster Management Authority, VSM, Status, Union Minister of State. May I please request Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal to kindly come on the dais, please. A big hand to Major General Dr. Bansal. We also have with us Shri A.K. Sharma, Director, Delhi Fire Services. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for joining us. Mr. Sharma, sorry. We have Shri M. Moni, Deputy Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India. A big hand for Shri Moni, please. And we have Major General Ramesh Pari, Additional Surveyor General. A big hand for Major General Pari, please. I now hand over the session to our session chair, Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about the disaster, whether it's natural or man-made, causes a lot of loss of life, damage. To prevent the death, loss of life, the preparedness is very much important. Now the question arises that for everything you need technology. So when we talk about the disaster management, it is a multidisciplinary approach with a technology-driven strategy for prevention, mitigation and preparedness for an effective response. Now, importance of technology, I can just highlight, that is in every field. You take a doctor, earlier a doctor was there, he just with a stethoscope or maybe just by seeing pulse, he used to treat. Similarly, disaster management also, some of the NGOs, they are going and just doing that was the thing. But now if you see, for the management, I can tell you few examples and case studies. There was a building collapse on Lalita Park. As Mr. Nair was there, our NDRF team reached over there, and they have very fine cutters. Fine cutters, the building is collapsed, suppose it is collapsed, and in corner somebody is stranded and is still alive. If you will bring very big bulldozer or anything to lift up the material, that person may die or be killed. But if you have got a sophisticated equipment, and with those equipment you can make a window and can take them out. So this happens at that point of time. So our NDRF team was there, and the other people were there, even the people from the Baba Dera side, they were there about 50 people, but they were not able to do anything because they were not having equipment, they were not having technology. Similarly, when this Mayapuri incidents happened, radiation leak of Mayapuri, I think most of you, some of you who are from Delhi, the leak was there. Now you can't see, taste or smell a nuclear thing. Until as you have got a technology and you have got a detector, you can't find out whether this place is having radiation or not. I went there personally myself. And what we have seen, that this shop number 32 of this Jain person, in an area of 10 by 10 there was a heavy radiation, and which we could only detect with a radiation monitor. Once we go out of that place and radiation was not there. So when we talk a disaster is the multidisciplinary and multi-sectorial approach. So there were the police people there were the people from NDRF, PARC, NDMA, DRDO. They all were trained except the police people. Now police people, neither they were trained, nor they were having any equipment, so they got exposed. And they got exposed with radiation, and then they have to be again tested whether their exposure has gone to them or not. Now, another example I will give you, there was the Fukushima accident for the radiation. Everybody went over there, they did initial work, and ultimately rescue teams were there. So we sent our DRDO, this NDRF also. Once the NDRF chap went over there, they stayed because they were trained, they were having equipment, and they could do the rescue work. Now, in any blast, there could be a dirty bomb. In the form, there may be a nuclear agent or there may be a chemical agent. Until unless you have got a technology to detect it, there will be exposure. So all those things, they require the how to make use of the technology. We have got expert with us, we have got Dr. Sharma, and we have got Mr. Moni, General Party. So they all are expert in this field. So I will hand over mic to all of them. They will give their views, and then of course we'll interact with the audience, and whatever your questions and your queries are, you will try to respond to that. It will be more interactive session, because if we keep on talking, what I want to tell, what I wanted to highlight, that it's very important to have a technology, and with that technology only you can go. And if we talk about the communication is also very, very important for disaster management. You have to have a very ruggedized fail-safe technology, so that you can reach to the last miles. So I give mic to Mr. Sharma, and he will give his views, and then one by one everybody will give their views and representation, and then we'll discuss.
You want me to present first our views?
Whatever way you want.
How to go about it? Presentation, I think that we have sufficient time now?
I think 10 minutes or 5 minutes each? 7 minutes, so that we can have enough time for the interaction with the audience. 7 minutes each, whether they want to talk just like that or they want to give their presentation, that is up to the speaker.
Good afternoon, friends. Let me say that at least I don't create disasters. I'm the one who responds to it. I'm the one who try to prevent them. And I'm the one who train people so that they can manage those situations. Then Bansal spoke about three incidents, one at Mayapuri, one at Lalitha Park, and one, of course, that Fukushima held in Japan. And out of these, I would say Fukushima, Japan is one of the eye-opener, wherein a tsunami sets in, or probably, let me go one step back. Earthquake happened at subsea level and triggered a tsunami wave, flooded the entire city, led to a nuclear disaster we are all aware of, led to various fires. It's a, should I say in real sense, a disaster of varied magnitude, a varied taste, if you allow me to say so. I should not use the word taste, but let me kindly allow me to use this word, of varied taste, and causing miseries, deaths, losses. What we can do about it can be, as a responsive force, as a responsive member of the society, can we do something about it? We had a problem in Lalitha Park. Two of the incidents which narrated happened in Delhi. Lalitha Park, building collapse, quite a few people lost their life, quite a few people we saved with NDRF and things like that. But this is not a new accident which has taken place in the city. We had another problem. We never thought of, let me tell you, we never thought of an accident like which could happen, or which had happened in Mayapuri, that a radioactive substance will be just disposed of without following any regulations. In fact, the material found its way to the Kavada market or the scrap market because it was not disposed of properly, and it's exposed so many people. Again, bringing miseries to people who are handling them, and causing concern for the responders, causing damage, or should I say injuries, to the responders as well. Delhi Fire Service prime objective, let me, as I said, we are basically a responsive force primarily, apart from protecting, taking preventive measures and training people or making people aware from fire safety aspects on different scales. Primary responsibility is saving life and property from fire, and then subsequently other related accidents or incidents which we spoke about, the building collapse and radiation leaks, chemical leaks, things like that. We examine plans of building from fire prevention perspective and issue guidelines that what building which is being developed or is in planning stage should comprise of as far as fire safety measures are concerned, and which needs to be incorporated as per the laws of the land, and so that at any point of time later when building is complete, occupied, any emergency happens, people can use those measures to mitigate those effects and evacuate buildings safely. We ensure, as I said, daily fire prevention and fire safety act is there, and we see to it that the laws and rules applicable there or provided there are made applicable to various sections of the society. We create public safety awareness so that make people aware of the various hazards and their mitigation measures. Broadly, disasters, fire I am concerned with, chemical disaster I am concerned with, flood, water I am concerned with, building collapse I am concerned with, a new dimension of terrorist attack has been added. We are all aware of what happened at Srinagar a couple of years back on the eve of Diwali, when we had a multiple series of terrorist attacks on the city. We are all aware of what happened at Bombay, 26/11 and things like that, and that's a new dimension which has been added. Earlier we were working, we were facing disaster, we were supposed to mitigate the ill effects of those disasters which has happened in a peaceful environment, but today we are working on an environment which is not conducive in a sense under the volleys of bullets. These are the situations we come across. This is a recent photograph which happened. Incidents there, and people are working, cutting various species, not using bulldozer. At times you feel that the building has collapsed, call the bulldozer immediately, try to clear the scrap and save the people. That is not the right technique basically, and that's why I say qualified people or the people who are trained in search and rescue should be involved in it. Saving life is a tedious task, is a technical, purely a technical job for which the people should be trained, and before bodies can be, all people can be saved alive. We have, again, as I said, building collapse. We have problems of gas leaking. Chlorine predominantly is being held apart, is being used in the city, apart from ammonia, for water treatment plants and hotels and things like that, and stored in bulk quantity. We have chemical storages in and around the city. We are all aware of what happened in Jaipur and of late at Hazira. That's the terrorist attack which we are talking about. Managing all these accidents, we provide how do we manage these accidents, and this is through a series of actions or provisions which we have made. Provision of fire stations where resources are stationed, that is fire appliances and equipment, trained manpower, things like that. We have a communication network available. We create, as I said, community awareness, and we have a legislative support. But point is that enough? Is it efficient method of doing it? Is it effective? Are we continuous, and is it a cost effective? Because everything is now calculated how cost effective we are, and our deliverance has to be without compromising, rather, from efficiency and effectiveness point of view. How to meet these challenges? Under the glare of press and media today, how effective we are. Nowadays, things are that before my fire engine reaches, the press and media OB van is there, and they start transmitting. We had a problem at. Mike is gone. We had a problem at North Block, and we had a small fire a couple of months back. OB vans are normally situated near North Block, that Rajpath, and they saw the smoke and they start transmitting that there is no fire engine which has reached the site. And believe me, for 10 minutes, they're passing on those same messages. Zee News, every news picked up that news and said, okay, no fire engine. Now, how can a fire engine reach there unless you inform the fire brigade? That was when I said working efficiently and effectively under the media glare. Yes, we can do it by better planning, effective use of resources, whatever is available, put that technology which is available to use, and taking or rather avoiding risk measures, and determine how to implement new ideas and tools in a traditional organization. Now, when I say traditional organization, this phrase I picked up because most of time we are working in a traditional method. We are not apt to accepting new technologies, new word, or new systems which can enhance our effectiveness or efficiency. Historically, first responders relied on experience. That is one. teamwork, communication between them, the experience which they have gained over a period of time to achieve their goals. Now, as I said, with the increased demand, fire service must utilize, to be effective efficiently, they must utilize the latest technology available in the field to meet public expectations. The society expectations are very high, and one such emerging technology which I thought I will speak about, or what frame of mind we have about this technology is the GPS and GIS world, which can be put effectively in use in our day-to-day activities so as to increase our efficiency and effectiveness and meet to the expectation of the people. And I'll skip the preliminaries. It is basically a data of information through maps and layers. And these can be used for your plans, for planning, for response system, for your mitigation system, for your preventive measures, for your inspections, for your training. These can be used. You can model, you can develop your modeling process. You can develop models, actual model of gas leaks using these technology, which otherwise would be quite difficult in without using these technologies. When, where, how often the incident has happened, you can, given a time frame, right from 9 in the morning to 9 in the evening, how many incidents has taken place in one spot, what are the demographics of that area, how this incident can be related to that demographic, how many, are there incidents related more to the children's or to the old age, how we relate to this, and what measures we can adopt to avoid those situations. We can evaluate the new fire station location to maximize the response coverage so that the number of incidents are increasing in a particular area.
Dr. Sharma, kindly conclude in 2 minutes.
All right. Okay, that's the worst part of it. We have hotspot analysis we can develop, we can have risk zones mapping, moderate, major, high, low, and things like that. Now, let me go to the, I would like to skip then if I have to conclude in 2 minutes, and then I would like to show what exactly, how we are doing it at the, this is Geo Portal of Government of Delhi, wherein we log in and technology is being provided to about 47 departments on board on the system. We have DFS zone boundary defined in it. We have got fire station availability. We have division boundaries. We have subdivision boundaries. You can make different queries. We have individual fire station boundaries wherein we can work. We can locate a fire station in an area using this portal. We can resources available at fire station. How many fire engines? How many? Who is in charge there? How many rescue tenders are there? How many say cutters are there? How many? All those. Who is in charge? What is his telephone number? How many people are there in that? What is their age profile? Everything. What is their qualification? Everything can be made known using this system. Whereas otherwise will take a lot of time to arrive at those resources. How, from where the resources are available, where resources are not available, we can locate how many hospitals, like the incident happened in Uphaar tragedy. All the victims were taken to Safdarjung Hospital or to AIMS. Right, and then they have to be diverted from either AIMS to the Safdarjung. Primarily, it was from Safdarjung to AIMS. People were diverted. First, they were all taken to the Safdarjung Hospital because being a first government responding hospital. All 59 people were taken then. In fact, they have to re-divert that. So, using this, we can know that these are the number of hospitals which are available within that buffer zone of incident, and these are the beds available there. They're Burn Hospital, specialization provided by the hospital, and we can divert the traffic so that lives can be saved. Nearest fire station to the accident or incidents, we can find what is the shortest route we can find using this technology. If there is some obstruction on the way, that can also be monitored there. Route directions are available, can be conveyed using wireless system to these people who are responding on GPS, using GPS methods. we can address a query, how many, suppose as a planning tool, I can use it, how many buildings are there for a particular height in particular area. I select an area and it gives me an area, how many buildings are there. How many police stations, law and order problem, terrorist attack is there, how many police stations are there. It will give you how many police stations are there within a particular fire station boundary, how many schools which are being used as primary or as shelters, how many schools are there. It will give me the in a particular district boundary or in a particular area of marked area of rectangle, how many schools are there. Gas pipeline is again IGL gas pipeline, where the main wall located. Pipeline is being marked into it, and we can, if there is a leakage, we can know where the pipeline's gas walls are located, and we can find out which area is to be protected or and which not to be protected. Again, finding the nearest features, finding various features within that particular area. Advantage are instant display, short resources available, there is fire station, hospital, whatever you have fed into the system, you can instantly come to know. And these are some of the constant. System speed is one area where system is not very fast as of now, though we are using it. Mapping resources, another area, how many resources which you want to map, which we expect them to be utilized during case of an emergency, and there is a dearth of trained manpower with respect to GIS and GIS personals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for wonderful presentation. And what is important, he tried to use technology, but I would like to emphasize here one thing. Please come. As a matter of fact, when Dr. Sharma says that yes, there should be GPS system, there should be monitoring, there should be mapping, all those kind of things. The first thing is that when we talk about disaster, including fire, I will focus here because he talked about the fire. As a matter of fact, there has to be a coordination between medical services and the fire services. And the medical services should do, they must know. And what I would like to make a point here practically, at the point of any kind of disaster, for the monitoring purpose, it is fine that Dr. Sharma is sitting at his headquarters and he is monitoring what is happening. But at the ground, the people who are there, they must know on physical ground where the route is, where the problem is, where the doctor will take that, which hospital they have to go in that particular area, rather than finding out or using the technology at that point of time. They must know on ground. And that is what is important, is that whatever technology available, we must have it. It must be foolproof. People must be trained for it. It should be utilized. And most important is doing mock drills or mock exercises. Because in that you come to know what are the gaps. You can find out those gaps and you develop reflexes. Whenever there is an emergency, your mind does not think that much to see most of the things, except until unless you are sitting in a monitoring place. But the person who is working on the ground, he has to develop good reflexes and must practice the thing of what is to be done, where to take the cases, and that is need to be done. So that is really good thing in the sense that yes, for monitoring purpose, at headquarter level, if he is sitting in his headquarter, he must know that how many beds is there in a particular area the hospital is having, who are the medical people available, what are the ambulance services. In case they are, the people who are on the ground, they need any help and direction, they are in touch with him and he can direct them, okay, you take there and there. But in that particular area also, the fire people or the people who are managing, whether the medical people in that particular area, adjacent area, they must be approached and then they do it. And this is really very unfortunate that we do not have any planning. How many beds are available, patient goes to one particular place and then they go to, once a very major fire occurred in Meerut maybe about 5-7 years back. And those people, they know, okay, there's one subsidizing hospital where we can take, and from Meerut the patients were brought here. And they could not find a bed here itself. Now what in the planning and preparedness is that you must have these fire treatment cases of burn ward in a different state and different city. So that patient can be treated there itself. Now I hand over mic to Mr. Moni to give his views. What are the technology, what he wants to say about the technology innovation for the disaster management. Mr. Moni, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I recall that when 9/11 incident took place in New York, it is only the planning module helped in shifting the patients from the, from WT, the World Trade Center, to all the hospitals of New York. And they were able to send the patients without any problem. And it is essential that a city like Delhi, we should be in a position to have online at least the hospitals and the beds available. That's an important thing, and 9/11 is an important thing, but I do not know whether the authorities here, they have learned it or not. That is a different matter to, think about it. I would like to talk about the two projects where how ICT has been implemented throughout the country, where it is an important for disaster management. It can become a component. The two projects are with respect to agricultural biosecurity and coastal security. Even though I have been specialized on government informatics at the grassroots level and also at the agricultural sector. One is that we have now networked about 7,032 locations in the country up to the block level to monitor about 143 YIE listed animal diseases. It is of economic importance, and unless the government declares the outbreak of the animal disease, it is not known to anybody else in the world, because it will affect meat exports and so on and so forth. This is a very challenge in the country, because even one disease like foot and mouth, per annum it costs about something like 20,000 crores annual loss in the country. So it is a rural livelihood, and how we can save, and bring in a smile in the face of the 120 million livestock farming community in the country is an important thing. And this has been launched, and every block headquarters, it is at the block level veterinary offices, have been connected with the system, and also has been facilitated with, one is that every reporting has to come through the administrative setup as a first information report, but it has been facilitated to the farmers and other people to report the information through mobile phones. Otherwise, previously, it is that administration, if they like, they will report. If they don't like, they don't take it. So now it is that the common man and the livestock farm community or the NGOs, they can use the mobile phones and they can communicate to the system that this is the disease which has taken place, and and it comes up to the level of the Secretary, Government of Animal Husbandry, Government of India. Almost all the institutions at the block level, district level, state level, and all ICR institutions and animal husbandry, veterinary universities and the veterinary colleges and the Ministry of Agriculture. So this is an important thing that it has been done, and the home page is that National Animal Disease Reporting System, ndrs.gov.in. And this is, once that outbreak has been approved, it is recognized by the government of the government, it comes to the common public. It is a complete workflow system, and this portal will be available in 22 languages constitutionally recognized, so that common man can come to know and utilize about that. Second one is that I would like to talk about is that after the Mumbai attack, during the Mumbai attack, the television channels would have shown the one boat which carried the militants. That is, the boat name was Kuber. And to find out the details of the boat, the government took about more than 1.5 months to get the details. And before that, the government of Kerala and the National Informatics Center had done an exercise to register all the fishing boats, fishing vessels. Because the problem in Kerala is that they don't need people to go to Middle East. They don't need visa and passport. They take the boat and go away. And that was the situations that. And they go and get surrendered there, and anyway, some 15 days they will put in the jail. Then they come out and they work there. Then they take the boat and come back here. So the Minister for Fisheries, Mr. Sharma, was a man who wanted to, this has become a political problem, and he wanted to find out an IT solutions for that. So we made a presentation in the month of October 2008. It was made a presentation to the Minister of Agriculture. Why don't we extend this to all the 9 coastal states and 4 union territories? And, this is about something like, and that time it was told about 3 lakhs fishing vessels which are operational. So November, the Mumbai attack took place. Immediately the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Home sanctioned the project to replicate throughout in the 9 coastal states and 4 union territories. And this needed a complete, process re-engineering, because for the fishing vessels registration, there is so many institutions were doing this registration, both the state governments and MBDA and the Directorate Shipping of, Directorate General of Shipping. So this brought a uniform, act for a uniform registration, and also identified about 166, registrars to register to undertake a registration of the fishing vessels that. And once this has been done, what happened was that all the bogus vessels have been completely removed. It has, from 3 lakhs, it has come down to 1.95 lakhs. So state government also gives lot of subsidies. Even if you take per annum, even if the state government gives for each fishing vessels in the name of, in the area of kerosene subsidy and so on and so forth, it's amounting to something like 10,000 rupees. You take about that, 1 lakh bogus vessel has been getting such type of subsidies, without any, account. So now this has been made, and government also made it very strict, and this database of about 2 lakhs is being used by Navy, is being used by Coast Guards, it's being used by Marine Police, and is being used by all the agencies are associated with the coastal, marine fishing that. So now the Ministry of, it's the Navy is trying to use this as a base for their own marine domain projects that. Because the coastal hereafter the security problem is going to come from the coastal area through the fishing vessels, and how to, safeguard that. So one is that the fishing vessels registration, and second one is that Ministry of Home Affairs has now given the biometric based identity card to all the fishermen living in the coastal area. So these 2 databases are becoming a strong databases for coastal security. And then this database is being used by both the Coast Guards for their own national automatic identification system of the fishing vessels, and the Directorate of Lighthouses and Lightships. And we also would like to link the International Center for Oceanic Information System of Ministry of Earth Sciences for Oceanic Information Services to the fisherman. And second is that, yes, the fishing vessels has been
kindly
registered.
conclude in 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yes. What about the people who are in the crew in the fishing vessels? So now, many times what happens is that the people are not able to do that. They go, the man who has not come back, they go to the district collectorate, they say that, this is what has happened. So now what is going to be that, like when we get into the plane, we get a boarding pass. Now from the 166 locations and the common services centers, that before the people get into the fishing vessels, the government to give some sort of a boarding pass. Once this information is available, that all the agencies who are associated with the coastal security will have the details. And if there is a storm or cyclone or any other problems, they will be in a position to undertake search operations immediately. So there are two things which I thought that it may be of relevance for this conference, SecureIT, securing the nation, and this is an important thing. And one is on National Animal Disease Reporting System, and second one is that the National Database on Fishing Vessels. DRDO labs who are involved in the coastal security, they are also using this database. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moni. It's very relevant both for the coastal security as well as the biosecurity, and biosecurity not only for the management of animals, but any disease with the animal is likely to be dangerous, that any pathogens can be taken away by terrorists and they can use in the form of bioterrorism. So that's very, very important. And only thing is that, yes, as you told, that the all report is being done, the data is being analyzed, any direction in the reverse flow that what is to be done, not to be done, or because it should not only be the information that it is flowing, but at the same time, while the information is being gathered, there should be some action. At times information comes and that become a very routine. And we have seen when this H1N1 infection was there, so many cases. Now also for this, I think H5N1, the reports come, but at the same time, when this information comes, there should be a decision and directions back through that same information technology as fast as possible to take any the remedial action on that end.
Yeah, just to give feedback. This is a project, since it is related to the animal disease, we have now engaged about 40 the experts from the veterinary science, both in the central project monitoring unit as well as in the 35 state project monitoring unit. And about 10,000 veterinary doctors have been trained during the last 2.5 years. Then all the ICR institutions who are dealing with animal disease research are being involved in building up a decision support system and disease advisory systems. And also we are going to use the GIS technology in a big manner, because of that some of the diseases are all influenced by the atmospheric conditions. Then the third one is that about 70% of the disease the human being getting is from the animal disease. If you are able to stop, you are able to take measures to arrest the animal disease flow from the animal disease to the human being, it is an important thing that. So the zoonotic disease is an important thing that. So it involves the integration of the experts working in the Ministry of Forest, the offices of IFS, Indian Forest Service, and the Ministry of the Department of Animal Husbandry, and the ICR institutions, veterinary colleges, and the Krishi Vigyan Kendras, and the ICR institutions are more important. So it is a GIS-based technology, and also that disease intelligence systems based on all the statistical measures and so on and so forth are also being contemplated. And also that this is all the Farmers Club of NABARD, numbering about 76,000 in the country, are being networked to provide this information to the farmers. Thank you very much.
Now I will request General Party to give his views.
Honorable Chairman, distinguished panelists and guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. I intend to give an overview of my organization, which is responsible for generating the geospatial data, which is very important for e-governance, disaster management, national security, and all developmental planning. And we play a very important role. And just for the sake of your information, we are the oldest scientific organization in the country, 245 years old journey, which has got very interesting stories in between. And 245 years during Clive Lloyd to the modern day using the new technology has taught us many important lessons, and we have been contributing immensely for your e-governance, security and disaster management. And to make the data available to the public, we have initiated a number of steps in which, so that whatever the geospatial data we have got, it should be made available to the public, and that is why we have got number of policy initiatives which we got approved by the cabinet, and we are making it available. As per the mandate, we need to play a leadership role in making the geospatial data available to the public without jeopardizing the national security. So we need to balance out between making available the data for governance, development, and also without compromising the national security. We have got offices all over the country. In every state capital, we have got an office. The headquarters is located at Dehradun. Now, when we talk about the national security, the map is a very important thing, or whenever we talk about the governance. And what kind of maps we generate is basically, we have got tactical scale maps which is on 1:50,000, and we have got strategic scale maps which are on 250,000. But the disaster management related issues compelled us, and not only disaster management, also because of the availability of the new technology, we have now moved into mapping in very large scale, that is on 1:10,000 scale for the entire country, and for the towns and cities on 1:2,000 scale, so that it can meet the aspirations of all user groups. Not only that, we have also developed a lot of important geospatial applications, like the 3D GIS mapping of cities. Particularly, we tested in Delhi, which was found very suitable, and similarly, we are planning for other cities also. And very interestingly, including, we have got requests from abroad, and so maybe in a couple of months we may help Thailand in establishing such, developing such applications for them. Now, so when I talk, in the older days we had only the paper maps which had symbols, the geographic informations were converted into symbols, so limited information could be stored. But the IT revolution has really given us an opportunity to collect more and more information and data, and develop interesting applications to meet all kinds of requirement. So we have been collecting other data, and in the GIS environment, we are able to integrate in a format which can be assessed by any kind of GIS software, basically which are available in the open domain. Other than the maps and geospatial products, we also undertake geodetic survey using satellite geodesy and GPS observations, tidal observations, which are very critical for your developing a tsunami warning system. In fact, I'll come to the later stage and how we have done that. Then high precision labeling, geomagnetic survey, gravity survey, topographic survey. So there are so much of scientific work we have been doing, and we have generated not only the topographical maps, spatial maps, cantonment maps, maps which are required for your developing any project activity. So these are some of the snapshots of how we have moved from the old system to the new system, from the conventional plane tabling using the dual frequency GPS, total station, and the modern day, any gadgets, whatever you see in surveying and mapping field is used in my organization. And we have really got the state of the art of the technology with us. And not only that, the data which we had earlier, we are updating that and we are refining that. That is why the geodetic datum of the Indian subcontinent is getting upgraded from the earliest Everest system to the modern WGS 84 system, which can meet or contribute in more and more geospatial applications. So more number of ground control points and leveling lines are being run. We have carried out a geomagnetic survey, which is very important for measuring your tectonic activities. We have published the geomagnetic atlas, and these maps are also available. We are sharing with the Indian Institute of Geomagnetism and other scientific institutions. Similarly, for tidal observation, we have got 125 years old data. Many of the ports, we have got a tidal observatory, and the earlier old systems are replaced with the modern digital tidal gauges, and this contributes immensely to developing warning systems for the like tsunami warning system, but also it helps us in refining our datum. Many other scientific organizations like atomic energy and all are also using this data. So if you see here, most of the seaports, we have got a tidal observatory, and these tidal observations are online transmitted through the, sorry, I'm moving backwards. So these are online transmitted to a national tidal data center and integrated with the national GPS data center, so that the locations and data are integrated at real time, and it is available to all user groups at real time. Now, other than that, we have got major ongoing geospatial projects, like we have got a project for the Indian Coastal Zone Management, on which we are spending 125 crores as a World Bank project.
General Party, you had 2 minutes to
Okay,
conclude.
sir. And so we have got number of projects like your National Urban Information System. There are many such projects we have got. They are very important. Also, we have contributed in survey of Antarctica. Then the most important and the latest is the National GIS Initiative, in which we are pumping 3,000 crores. This is a planning commission approved, and where Dr. Kasturi Rangan has taken the key leadership role. Now, we have developed this particular portal, Geo Portal for the Delhi 3D GIS, which is one of the important applications in the GIS, which we have been talking. And then, so I'll not get into this thing, and particularly for utility mapping using the ground penetrating radar, this also we have used for many cities. At least now we have got data of 22 cities, and more cities are going to be mapped. And in future, we are going to cover 152 plus another 452 cities. The existing data, whatever we have got, are being re-engineered, and we are establishing data centers to put all this data under a Geo Portal architecture. Now, to make as a way ahead, last 2 slides, sir. Now, I just want to tell about the National GIS Initiative, which is very important, where the government of India is going to spend 3,000 crores. In version 1.0, the existing 1:50,000 scale data is getting re-engineered, and we are making it GIS ready. We are uploading it onto the web as a WMS service. And in phase 2, when we generate the 1:10,000 data, in another 4 years' time, we'll upload that as a GIS ready data, which will be meeting most of the requirement for your e-governance or disaster management or security forces. So we have got a proper timeline prepared for that, and an action plan has been prepared, and this is what we are going to meet the aspirations of the nation. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, General Party. Before we open the floor for questions, and anyway, I think you give some time so that we can have a little, after all, if we do anything, I don't know how many of you are the technology and the other information technology. When we do such kind of conferences, my only thing in general is that we have the very less speakers, and whatever we talk, it should come out, conclude with a roadmap, how we take and how it can be implemented on ground. Otherwise, meeting, sharing our experience, views, resources, until as it comes out with a kind of roadmap that yes, what we are going to do, then only it is. Otherwise, so much of the information, what is being flowing, cannot be grabbed by the mind. So it has to be little information, but that must be implemented. So what I want to make point is, I don't know whether here people are from the information technology or some other technology also, because if anybody from the other than the information technology here, because it is in general technology, and when we are talking for the disaster definitely need technology. Whatever technology we develop, it should be used and implemented. And what happens in our country, that we talk, but we do not really develop, and we do not bring on the ground. And if we find and see, most of the sophisticated equipment we still import, which is very costly, and you can't provide to everybody, because once it is costly, if you can get 10 things in one, suppose I talk about a monitor, a radiation monitor, if whatever is costing, when we are importing in that money, you can add 10, so you can give to the 10 people. So something has to be done in that. At the same time, whatever has been done so far, it should be implemented on the ground. And thirdly, that people who are going to use, they should be trained about it. And equipment should be in orders, because any technology, here you are talking about the information technology, but I am talking in technology in general. Mr. Nair, Dr. Nair, he also told that yes, there is a kind of equipment which has been developed by Defense Research and Development Organization. From the long distance, it can sense if there is anybody whosoever is inside the debris, whether he is alive or not. So these things which I wanted to highlight and impress upon, that first of all conferences, they must have a concrete conclusion which is implemented on ground. Secondly, whatever technology is being developed, it should be made sure that it is available. And thirdly, people should be trained. Anyway, now a few questions, because I think she appears to be in hurry. A few questions we can take. So will you please identify and ask the questions? Yes.
I am Ashish Sanyal. I have a question for Mr. Sharma. Before that, I just want to make a comment, General Padi. Immensely satisfied to see that national GIS version. I'll take you in a very, very small anecdote. That C.K. Prahlad, he came to India, management guru C.K. Prahlad, who is no more. And there was a GIS conference by the EGOP people in Hyderabad a few years back, and he was one of the session chair. I had the opportunity to talk to one-to-one. And then I was in DIT at that time. I was serving in Department of IT and in the charge of EGOV. So he just cut me short. I have seen your NEGP program, Urban Development. They are not talk very highly about the GIS. How can you do, Mr. Sanyal, without urban development, NEGP, without GIS? But I'm so pleased to see that such a big project is being taken. Sir, I just wanted to know, because you have shown a slide of this Himalaya house building. What is the highest reach now DFS can reach at the high-rise building, the ladder? Just very...
Answer, he was talking 70 meters they can go.
70 meters, because that is one question came to my mind when I saw the high-rise, because I mean...
That is the awareness part, you see.
Sir, I stay in Gurgaon now, and there was a fire in my colony, that is Vigyan Bihar. And my wife wrongly called 101, and DFS people said, this is Delhi Fire Service number for Gurgaon, please call this number. But that is only 10th floor building, but there are 25-story building in Gurgaon, which will be how much height? It will be 70 meters, I think.
Yes, one floor is 3 meters, roughly you just multiply with 3.
So it is
75 meters.
75 meters. But I just wanted to know, 70 meters is quite comfortable. Okay.
No, but don't worry, Gurgaon has got 92. Let me give you another piece of information.
92 meters ladder.
They have, they have got 90 meters, not 92, 90 meters.
How come, sir, we are having 72 then? I
You-
spent 32 years in Delhi and only 2 years in Gurgaon.
I will answer that question.
Again, another.
No. As a matter of fact, the Delhi Fire Services has got the 3 hazmat vehicle, hazardous material vehicle, which can take care of the chemical. Now they are very old, maybe about 5-6 years old. If somebody bring new one now, it may definitely maybe they had long back, the 70 meters. I presume, and they would have procured recently, which is available 90 meter. I don't know what is the highest now available in the world.
We are also going in for 90 meters because that is the one which is right now, as on date, available, highest level, highest ladder available in the world, right? But then let me also assure you that there are buildings which are 300 meters, 500 meters in the world where you cannot reach using those 90 meters. So what about their safety? Are they unsafe? Definitely not.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. So safety of a building or the competence of a fire brigade, for that matter, cannot be judged by just having a ladder in it of the highest height
There are so many
available.
other laden weights and all. How many people you can rescue
Absolutely.
simultaneously? The weight
Right.
of that laden weight and all. Thank you.
My question to Mr. Sharma, as we look
Can you
for...
identify yourself?
Yes, I am Dr. Mukta Girdhar from Guru Gobind Singh Intrust University, and I am assistant professor with Center of Disaster Management Studies. So my question is, if you go for the Emory Hospital case, have you incorporated any precautionary measure in Delhi hospitals?
Emory Hospital and the fire at Upahar,
there are so many similarities in it. Okay, we lost 59 people in Delhi 20 years down the line, and Emory almost the death was 90 plus, if I'm not wrong. In both the cases, that was due to the smoke factor, the inhalation of smoke. The environment was so bad there that they have no smoke management system at the premises. And it's not the fire which killed people, it is the smoke which has killed in both the accidents. After Upahar, we have started implementing the need, or rather the provision has been made into the bylaws and the national building codes that every building coming thereafter should have a smoke management system incorporated before the building is occupied by the occupant, so that in case of any such happening, they should have a system on, and they have a working environment or the environment which is conducive for a safe evacuation of those people who are in there.
Thank you.
If no, one question.
Just
Last
one
question.
more question to General Pari, that you have discussed about the DEM data. So do we have all that DEM data for all over India?
Right now, we have got the DEM data on 1:50,000 scale resolution.
Last question.
Because DEM generation for the entire country is over on 1:50,000 scale, which is very accurate, and it is available for GIS activities. You can collect from Survey of India, one can get, but with a caution. The border areas will not be available to everybody. But about 70% of the areas DM one can get without any restrictions.
Yes, be brief.
Sir, myself, Deputy Commander Prashant Pant, operations from 8th NDRF, sir. I have a question for Mr. Sarma, sir, and Padi, sir. So that you are having maps and your Delhi portal, sir. So, sir, how I can have access to your portal and maps to have sir, good operations that can I carry, sir?
Well, CSF have to be on board on that system. We have actually the system is Geo Portal is by Delhi government as well. It's an initiative of Delhi government, and there are 47 inline departments which are on board who can access this. But every department cannot accept the entire data. There are certain applications which have been given which are useful for those departments which they can access. And in case I need another application or another data of another department which is not provided to me or authorized to me, I have to seek a special permission. Now for that matter, you have to come to the government and seek approval for putting you on board for that.
Thank you. I think we close the session here because I see is very, now we thank you very much. Let us give a big hand to all the speakers. They have really explained the subject very well, and thank you for the audience also.
Thank you, sir. We just have a memento presentation as a mark of appreciation and gratitude for being part of this session and making it so interesting and interactive. And obviously, there is always that clash of running to the next session and having more questions. Sorry for all the people who could not be given a chance to ask. I would request the mementos, please, on the stage. I request Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal to please hand over the memento to Shri A.K. Sharma, Director, Delhi Fire Services. Thank you so much for giving a deep insight of the fire services and how it functions and the security aspects in that. To Shri M. Moni, Deputy Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India. A big hand to Shri M. Moni, please. To Major General Ramesh C. Padi, Additional Surveyor General. May we have a big hand for Major General Padi. And now I request Shri A.K. Sharma to hand over a memento to our session chair, Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal. Thank you so much, sir. One quick round of a group photo session. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, all of you. Yeah, thanks.